In step 4, we're going to launch the pipeline. So this is going to be a fun one. This is the code that we have. So if I go back to here, this is the code right here. So let me uncomment this. And yeah, the main reason why I provided the code already is because as you can see, the code of the pipeline, it can be a little bit confusing, especially because there's a lot of indentation and a lot of attributes which have the same name, like name here, action type. So it can get a little bit confusing. Let's just go over the requirements for the pipeline. First thing is the pipeline name. So it's going to be team1-pipeline. Let's find the pipeline name. So right here. So that's going to be sub namespace dash pipeline. Next one is the artifact store. For the artifact store, it should be fetched from the S3 bucket that we created in step 1. Okay, so the location is gonna be the bucket name that we created. So the bucket name is this one right here, and I don't have to hard code this name, so I can just reference this value here. And one sec, where is it? Location. So we're going to use ref and then the name. And this is going to give me the name of the bucket. The type should be S3. The roll arm, so roll arm for the pipeline is going to be the same thing that we did for the stages. And this is the parameter name. So we have double brackets, resolve, SSM. Here it's gonna be namespace. And let's not forget sub. The rest is the same, and then this is gonna be version 1 as well. Following that, we have, so the pipeline should have at this point 2 stages. The first stage is the source, and the second one, so first one is the source. The second one is validate CloudFormation templates. Let's work on the source first. The name of the stage should be source. So we have stages and you have names, so that should be source. And then you have one action only, which is also of name source. Let's see here. Yeah, so there should be only one action, and we're gonna use S3 as the source provider. The name of the action should be source. Okay, so name of the action is source. The action type. So we need the, let's see. Yeah, so this is the action should be of type source, and the provider should be S3. So the category should be source. The owner. So first of all, the provider is S3, right? Because that's where the code is coming from. And so who's the owner of S3? That's AWS. And the version should be 1 for this particular action type ID. Now when it comes to the outputs artifact, so it's very important that the stage outputs an artifact. Choose whatever name you like for this artifact. Okay, so here we can just choose whatever we want. So I'm just gonna call it source zip. Then for the configuration, we need the S3 bucket that the code's gonna come from, and the name of the object there in the S3 bucket. The name of the bucket is gonna be another ref for this thing here, for this resource. And the bucket key, I'm just gonna call it deployment.zip. It can actually be anything as long as this name is the same name as whenever you upload the zip file to S3. And then run order, so that's the order that the stages are gonna run. And because source is the first stage, then the run order should be number 1. Now the second stage, as we discussed, that should be called Actually, let me just copy, it might be easier. So it should be validate CloudFormation templates. A little bit hard to copy. And so right here, let's read about the actions. There should be two actions. First action is cfn_lint, which we already did. The second one is cfn_nag, already did. Let's do that. So actions, the first one should be cfn_lint. And now when it comes to the category, this is the build stage. So the first stage was a source. This one is a build. The owner, because we're using CodeBuild as the service, so owner is also AWS. And then the provider should be CodeBuild. And the version again should be 1. When it comes to the input artifact, so the source stage is outputting the artifact, and then this way, and then here we need to put the same name as the out. So the output artifact here, which is source zip, it should be the same thing here for the input artifacts for the validate CloudFormation templates stage, because we're just reusing that artifact. And I'm gonna leave run order for now. We're gonna come back to this later. I'm gonna explain something which is key here. The second action, as the challenge mentioned, should be cfn_nag. So the name is gonna be cfn_nag. The category is gonna be the same thing as before. Build. It's a type build. The owner AWS. The version should be 1. And the provider should be CodeBuild. For the configuration, I actually forgot the configuration here, but that's the project name. So for this, we're just gonna do a ref. And so let's find the project. So this is for the cfn_lint. I'm gonna paste it right here. That's project name. And then now I need a project name for the cfn_nag. Just gonna do the same thing where it is here. So ref cfn_nag. The input artifact is gonna be the same as the one that we are outputting in the source stage. Just gonna double check I didn't forget anything. I think we're good. And then now I just need to take a look at the run order. So I just want to explain one thing here. See down here at the bottom you have important. So these two actions should execute in parallel, not sequentially. If I have a run order, so this run order is 1. If I have a run order of 2 here and a run order of 3, that means we have the source, after that cfn_lint, and then after that cfn_nag. But if I want cfn_lint and cfn_nag to execute at the same time, so kind of in parallel, the run order should be the same for both of them. If here is 2, then that means here should be 2 as well. And actually, when we come to the definition of done, I showcase how it would look like. So if we had 1, 2, 3, that's how it would look like. So we would have source, cfn_lint, and then this little arrow down, and then cfn_nag. But because we're specifying the same run order for lint and nag, you should see this. So source executes, and then when it comes to the validate CloudFormation template stage, you're gonna have 2 actions executing at the same time. So that's why we specify the same run order. Okay, so that looks good. Let's update the stack and see what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna pull it up again. I've run it a few times. So let me make sure I have the right command. So AWS CloudFormation update stack, team1 pipeline, template.yaml, namespace, and I did delete the role iron that we were testing before for the parameter store. So because I only have 1 parameter here, I should only have 1 parameter in my command. We're not deploying any IAM roles, so I don't need capabilities. And it's going to be US East 1. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. And guess what? I forgot to save the file. Let's try that again. Okay, so it looks like now it worked. Let's go to CloudFormation very quickly. It's already update complete. That was very quick. Awesome. So if we go to CodePipeline, we should see our pipeline there. And if we click on it, this is how it should look like. And if we go back to the challenge, so definition of done. So after the stack is successfully updated, we should see this instead of this. So if you have this, so CFN lint and then CFN nag underneath it, it's wrong. That means your run order is different. You should see this one here, which is exactly what we have. So this step is complete as well. Let's just make sure there is a for discussion. So let's see what that is. I think we already discussed. So what is the run order parameter used for when to define a stage action? So you know the answer. Right, so that's it. And next one is gonna be step 5. See you there.